This is the story of Officer Brian Coyle of the St. Paul Police Department and the events that surrounded a fatal car accident on Edgecombe Road, St. Paul, United States of America. Let's take a look.
My name is Brian Coyle. I'm a commander with the St. Paul Police Department. Been on the job for 28 years. I'm currently commander in charge of the property crimes unit and the SWAT team. The thing about being a police officer is that you're in a position where you can actually be in the middle of the action, make a difference in how it turns out, protect the people that can't protect themselves, and on occasion actually find justice. The excitement of the job is like I said, something that I don't think you can get in any other profession. And to see people in all states, from very much down and out to the top of their careers, I don't think it can be matched by any other professions. It's been a great career.
On a cold and foggy night during the Christmas season of 1984, Officer Coyle would have no idea that his camera would serve as a silent witness to the unknown.
My partner and I, Mark Kempe, and I were on patrol, and we got a call for a vehicle accident with injuries. It was very foggy with a bit of a drizzle. The particular area where the accident happened was very poorly lit, and there was a curve. The vehicle had left the roadway and struck a tree. We weren't far away, and we responded. We found a young man who had been involved in the accident that was wedged underneath the dashboard. The young man had no visible injuries that I could tell, a little bit of blood coming from his nose. He basically looked like he was asleep on the seat. We pulled him out from underneath the dashboard and checked for vital signs and couldn't find any. Medics arrived and they pronounced him that he had deceased at the scene. So my partner and I then processed the scene with pictures and diagrams and wrote some of the reports. I know when we got out of the car, we saw the car, the vehicle had left the road and had run into this tree. There were 3 young people standing around the car telling us that their friend was inside and was hurt. The picture that really shows the image I took from about this location. The vehicle was sitting there. At the time I took these photos, I really didn't feel that it was unusual. I had taken pictures of countless accident scenes prior to this and after. Other than the fact that it was extremely foggy and raining a bit, it was a normal scene, and we proceeded as we normally do. After we finished processing the scene, we went and we did the usual paperwork, filled out the reports, turned in the film into the property room. And during that time, the St. Paul Police Department developed their own photos. Didn't think much of it until a couple days later when I was one of the officers that worked in the photo lab got a hold of me and said that I should probably stop by because he had something that he wanted to show me. And he took out the pictures that he had developed from the pictures that I'd taken, and was fairly surprised at what we saw. And there were some images on the pictures that definitely weren't there when I was taking the pictures. And that I didn't have any explanation for. There were streaks of light, both red and white, that ran through the pictures, some of them coming from the images, some of them just passing through the pictures.
Apart from the streaks of light recorded at the crash site, there would be several other photos that seemed to reveal something even more extraordinary. So extraordinary, in fact, that Officer Coyle and others have been haunted by it ever since.
On the side picture of the vehicle, facing the driver's door, above the vehicle, about even with where the front seat passenger would be sitting, there was a clear image of a face. That appeared to be in agony, a scream. had distinctive hair and a distinctive profile. I just couldn't explain what it was. The officer that processed the photos was speechless about the pictures. He didn't have any explanation for it. He said that he had been developing photos for years, hadn't seen anything like it. There was other images within the picture that almost, in my mind, portrayed the way that the accident happened. I had found out from the witnesses that when the accident happened, he had been sitting with his back against the passenger door, facing where eventually my camera location was, looking down at his lap. I found an image in the pictures that actually, in my mind, shows that same face looking at you, looking at his lap. I had of the main picture, there's another faint picture that looks very much like the main picture where the individual appears to be screaming. That's out over the hood, in between two trees. A few years later, when I've got a copy of all the pictures, because I only had a copy of one picture for several years, I did go to several photo shops and showed the pictures to people that had been dealing with photographs for years. And they can explain some of the small things that are in each picture, but each of them told me that they can't explain all of the things that are going on in one picture. There's no explanation in my mind, and the experts haven't been able to give me an explanation either.
Is this evidence of ectoplasm and photos of this young man screaming as he took his last breath? As always, you guys decide. Thanks for watching.